You're right, Tamia. If you're anything like me, then your bedside table looks a bit like this. An absolute mess of charging cables and gadgets. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 modifications you can do to try and sort that out. Maybe 4. Now, before I jump into how I modify these bedside tables, I first want to say a massive thank you to Amazon. They reached out to me and asked if I'd like to help promote their furniture sale that they're running at the moment. So if you're in the market for some furniture, check out the affiliate link in the description below and use the code SUMMER20 to get 20% off your furniture order. Now let's get into the build. The first modification I'll be concentrating on is in the drawer, so I removed it from the bedside table and took it in the shed. I thought that adding a USB charging hub would be a great addition, so I got one that's got USB-C and fast charging just to help future-proof it. Sitting it at an angle in the drawer, I was able to set my bevel gauge roughly by eye and transfer that angle to a scrap piece of MDF. This will be my guide moving forward. I cut another piece of MDF to fit snug in the drawer. This will be the back side to the USB hub housing. I could then offer up the hub and the angle guide to help mark a line where the hub needs to sit. The hub I used was roughly 13mm thick, so I marked a second line to create a 13mm wide channel. Some rough marks where the hub starts and stops gives me guides where to cut at the bandsaw. The fit was great, so I marked a straight line along the top of the side piece. This will be where I'll glue on some 6mm walnut later. With the backside piece done, I could trace around it onto another piece of MDF. This piece will have a pocket routed out of it though, as this is the side you'll see when it's in the drawer. A straight bit in the router makes quick work of this. I finished off the cut at the bandsaw again before I glued the pieces together for the hub housing. The 2 centre pieces that I'm gluing on are 65mm wide. That spacing makes sure the hub sits nice and snug between the 2 side pieces. Now it was time to add the walnut. I needed to cut a slight angle on the leading edge so it could fit under the hub though. Some wood glue and plenty of clamps secures the walnut tops in place. Now, when I was coming up with different ideas of how to modify the bedside tables, I asked my Patreon supporters for their input and their ideas. I had suggestions like adding different dividers into the drawers so I could have a space for USB cables and my remote controls. There was motion sensing lights recommended, different LEDs that I could put underneath for mood lighting. There was even mention of a secret compartment, which I think I might have inadvertently incorporated by accident. But the second one that I'm going to be tackling was suggested by Patreon, and that's a drinks holder. The second modification comes in the form of a cup holder. I used a circle template I made for a previous project along with a flush trim router bit to carve away a shallow circle. I was really pleased with how it was fitting, and this is where I realised I've kind of got a built-in secret compartment too, because it just sits into place and the gap that's underneath, that's where you can hide stuff. So you could hide money in there, anything you don't want prying eyes to see can be tucked away, and you would need to remove the drawer and slide this piece out to get access to it. It just needs a splash of colour. Of course, I had to go with magenta, not pink. Some spray lacquer will protect the walnut and the paint. In order to get power to the hub, I needed to cut a slot in the back of the drawer, so I first drilled 2 holes next to each other and then used my handsaw to cut a line down the one side. The wire is much less likely to slip out of the slot this way. A hole drilled in the back of the bedside table itself allows for the power cable to come through. The third modification is going to be a wireless charger added to the top of the table. Unfortunately, I couldn't get access to the underside of the tabletop, so the only option I could think of was to router a pocket in from the top itself. I thought a 1mm plywood inlay would work well, so using a bottle top as a scribe, I marked around the wireless charger and added a straight line for the wire. The 1mm plywood is thin enough that the wireless charger will work through it. I then cut this shape out at the bandsaw. It's really quick to clean up the edges with some sandpaper. Tracing around the plywood shape gives me a mark to follow with a straight bit in the router. I added some painter's tape to the bottom of the router base to stop it from scratching the tabletop. I first carved down a little deeper than 1mm for the plywood to sit in. I could then get a rough mark around the charger and route a pocket for it and for the wire. Wireless chargers do get warm, so I drilled some holes to help with ventilation. The plywood inlay got painted black before I secured it in place with double-sided tape. I wanted a non-permanent fixing option just in case the charger or the cable was to fail later down the line. I can pop up the plywood inlay and replace what's needed. Watch out. Go find your ball. Where's your ball? To help hide the wires, I used some of these cable management sticky back things and stuck them on the back leg to help hide the wires out of sight. I'm really pleased with how these modifications have turned out. Nice and neat on the top now with the wireless charger. Still got access to fast charging via the USB hub in the drawer, and I can tuck everything away out of sight when I don't want to see the stuff that's charging. And of course I got that drinks holder as well, along with the secret compartment that I kind of built in by accident. Don't forget, if you're in the market for any furniture at the moment from Amazon, check out the affiliate link in the description and use the code SUMMER20 to get 20% off your order. I want to say a massive thank you as always to my Patreon supporters. They helped me come up with these modifications, and that drinks holder and the secret compartment is probably one of the better ones that I've used in this one. I've had a brand new Patreon supporter as well recently, and that's Jay. So thank you so much, Jay. I really appreciate the support that you're showing me and my channel. I can't thank you enough, mate, so thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, make sure you click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon next to it to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. You'll get a pop-up on your phone or an email letting you know there's something there to watch. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down, and I'll catch you on the next one.